Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our show. This is Ray Fernando, and I have Ronald Manick on the line as well. And today we're about to go over a lot of interesting things today. There's been a lot going on in the headlines of AI. And so this week we have some things like the Rabbit updates, Humane AI pin, also talk about Llama 3, and give our take a little bit about what's going on in hardware. Why is it so hard? The Rabbit R3 and the Humane AI pin have currently launched and are in people's hands. And there's a lot of bad reviews. There's a lot of mixed reviews. There's a lot of hype. There's a lot of different things going back and forth. But the overall sentiment is like it could be better. So Ronald, having a background in hardware, will also share his experiences. And I have a lot of background in hardware and software integration, having previously worked at Apple for 12 years and having been in the mix through a lot of major releases, and basically have been started out my career working behind the scenes at the Genius Bar and moving up into the engineering teams and kind of working on all these different projects, especially on the Apple Watch program. And let me just go ahead and introduce Ronald, so you could tell a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Ray. So my name is Ronald. I am the founder or developer behind Pico. There's a front-end LLM front-end called Pico, and there's like a whole GitHub repo. The organization name is Pico MLX. Pico MLX, where you can find a ton of like open source free tools for AI developments in Swift mostly. So if you happen to be a Swift developer for iOS or Mac and you're interested in AI, the place to go is to GitHub slash Pico MLX.
That's excellent. That's excellent. So cool. So yeah, let's just go a little bit today about the rundown of kind of what's been going on here in tech this week. So the first thing that's come to our memory or currently made to our awareness is about ChatGPT Memory. So Memory is actually now available to all ChatGPT users. So if you haven't used this, basically it allows you to say, hey, remember that this is the name of my cat, and remember that this is the name of my dog. And my dog is a golden retriever, and my cat is some type of fluffy cat that's orange. And the next time you go into ChatGPT to ask questions or to look something up saying, hey, my cat is having some problems, and it could say, oh, because your cat is this breed, this is probably what you should look for. So you don't have to keep telling it over and over and keep launching into, I have this cat, I have this, or in my case, I have celiac disease. So to say, just remember that you have celiac disease. And that's just super easy. So when I ask for, give me some nice dishes, or I want to say, generate a meal plan for me, it's going to already know that information without having to type that in over and over again. So it just saves a little bit of time. And I thought that was an interesting and new update from OpenAI that they just released. Naturally, our friends who are really into QA and software and stuff, and there's also some folks who are into jailbreaking things. They've been using that actually as an avenue to not have to repeat prompts again. So they just, remember all these like different commands to try to break the system. And they're kind of making some headway into that. So that's really interesting. We'll have some more updates when that kind of comes about. Speaking of LLM fronts, Anthropic has also released their iOS app from Claude. So Claude has released their own models, and they're actually on par or competing with OpenAI. And some actually claim that it's better when they use it for writing as opposed to ChatGPT. In my experience, I actually find it a lot more natural to write with when you subscribe to the Claude Opus model. That is a $20 a month subscription, but this is basically now has an app. It used to only be an interface where you just log on to the web, as we see here. And there's a lot of confusion also in the App Store. That's kind of why I wanted to bring this to your attention, is because the actual app from Claude is this actual logo here that says Anthropic BPC. So if you have any other app and it doesn't say that, it's likely not the actual app from Claude. And so you may want to sign off or do those types of things and make sure that, just beware of where you're giving your information. It's just that it's useful there. A little bit more on the LLM front. We also have Llama 3 8B. So 8B is the smaller model of the two for Llama 3, and Llama 3 is the latest release from Meta, formerly known, I guess, as Facebook to some degree. So they've released their context length has normally been 8K. Somebody's actually discovered a way to get 100K tokens, and they've actually now have launched this. This is from Gradient AI on the Hugging Face. So now you can basically learn to operate in long contexts with minimal amounts of training, so less than 200 million tokens. And so that's some details there. We're going to have this information also posted on our website, so rayfernando.ai. And I'll have a posting there as well as some links in the YouTube description if you're watching on YouTube, and if you're on X streaming. I'll also see if I can hand over those links as well on the stream, and then I'll probably put some extra stuff in the post as well. And then the next thing that we have on our plate here that's been showing up is Humane has actually released their next version of their update. So it's I think it's 1.1.3, and they're fixing 3 critical things here in this update. They're basically fixing the battery life issues that people have experienced along with thermal stuff. They're also reducing the response latency. So a lot of people were having on certain queries that just take a very long time. So that seems to be improved according to the documentation. And also some basically fine-tuning accuracy. And some people can say that like the LLM is responding better. I actually had an AI pin, and I just returned mine. But mostly because I had issues with connectivity and in the area that I was in, basically. But in my experience when I was using it, when I would ask for the weather, it would not only give me the weather, but it give me like an approximate address of where the weather was. And so I imagine that this type of update would probably like fine tune those types of experiences as well. So, and then the last update here we have from Rabbit is that they've also released an update as well. So for those who have a Rabbit R1, my friend Ronald, actually here on the line, has a Rabbit R1 device.
I've got it right here.
Yes.
And it just finished updating.
All right, that's cool. So I'm going to ask you a whole bunch of questions. We actually have a video where last week, I think when you received the device, did an unboxing. So we can also link that live stream as well, because there's just lots of cool experiences there and kind of stuff going on and lots of questions. So I think that's going to be something that's very useful for there. But in this here, the update looks like they improved the translation and some other bug fixes, improved the GPS location services. So I guess there was an issue with where the device thought it was and where the language model thought it was. They also improved weather and time, reduced further LLM hallucinations. And then what I also have heard and would love to, I guess you've just finished updating, Ronald, but maybe for next week, is like how the battery life performance was, because I heard that was also a significant problem and stuff. So
it was, yeah.
Yeah. So I'd love to hear your experience. You've had it maybe for about a week, or how long have you had the device for?
I'm in the first batch. So I honestly forgot when. I think we did a video on Monday, maybe. So less than a week. So I have to admit, I haven't used it every day. Actually, the usage has been. It's on my desk. The nice thing is, so it comes in this box. This is how you receive it. And the cool thing is, if you open it up, it becomes like this perfect holder. So this is how it actually like shows in my on my desk. So I've got it right here. It's like a clock. It's my little
it's a clock.
awesome designed buddy here.
And you have it plugged in.
Yeah,
that's nice.
And the cool thing is like the button you have to press to ask questions is right here. So you can it's extremely easy to ask it any questions. The only thing is you just have to press the button. That's it. That's the only thing you have to do, and you've got it. Like it's easy. However, I have noticed. So the issue I have mostly with the device is that the answers are short. And often I'm looking for more detailed answers. And maybe something I can refer to. For example, like if I want to have a recipe. I haven't tried any recipe, but I assume it gives you the recipe the same way it gives you the answers, like one paragraph at a time, and then the paragraph is removed and another paragraph is shown. So if you want to have the overview of the whole answer, I haven't found a good way or any way to get that actually on the screen. So, for example, in my example, if I wanted to have like a recipe, I don't know how to do that on a Rabbit, which is kind of a shame, because I wanted to have to see the recipe or I don't know. Yeah, so I could make that recipe with like the device on my counter or something like that. So I still love the quality of the product. It is really well made. I mean, the feel, the weight, it is really beautiful design. Uh, Usefulness, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not regretting it. I will not return it. Uh, but its usefulness, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm a nerd. I like these gadgets, but for like the average user, I don't think this will be like the ultimate form factor for AI devices. I doubt it, to be honest.
So the rabbit can play video, right?
I well, there's animations for sure, and you can take photos, but there's, as far as I know, no video. Yeah, no.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that was just really curious about that because, and then somebody said, or from the reviews, that part of it's a touchscreen and part of it's not. Is that correct?
Yeah, so it is a touchscreen. So there's some instances like during the setup where you have to like tap the screen for an option, but it's not really always the case. So most of the time you just have to use these weird little scroll wheel and then click on the option you want to have. So it's a little bit, I don't know. I think they weren't quite sure what to do here. So it's a bit of both. So yes, there's a touchscreen built in. No, you probably won't use it much, if at all.
Ah, that's interesting. Yeah, big shout out, by the way, to the folks who've let us know that there was a bunch of echo at the very beginning. I was wondering about how that was going to play out with my. I have a soundboard hooked up here, and I have a totally official studio, and so we're basically just doing a live stream. And I'm actually back here on the mainland. And let me see if I could kind of freeze my camera. So this is kind of like the setup I have going on right now. I have this like big board here that's running things, and got like a
Ooh, it looks
real.
fancy.
Yeah, we're fancy in here.
Wow.
This is how we do it. Got the real microphone and stuff. It's like real official. So I'm really happy to, and we got lights back there. It's real. Yeah. So no, I definitely appreciate folks kind of giving us the heads up. This is I was basically in Hawaii for a little while, testing things out, and from there, like, it was a much simpler setup. It was literally just a lavalier mic, and may have to go back to that. We'll see. I kind of like simpler setups and stuff like that. But yeah, Jordan, thank you so much for also giving us a shout out there and heads up and stuff. And yeah, this is basically our show. We're going to be going over a little bit. I know Ronald was kind of going over some things here, but the Rabbit R1. So one of the things I kind of really wanted to talk to you a little bit about, Ronald, is you have a background in hardware, and you've done your hardware startups as well, and good or bad, and we're actually seeing the first phase of actual AI specific hardware coming out. And there's plenty of people saying different things, from why isn't this just an app, or how is this better than my phone, and this and like that type of things. And I think very specific use cases are gonna be like what these people are showing us is like, hey, maybe we don't have to like go full phone. Maybe we can just do something that's smaller at a form factor and do something that's really well, and then use the power of AI to do these things. And I think the dream is definitely there, and I could definitely see it. But for myself, I think the theme here is that like hardware is really hard. To
Oh, it is.
do hardware, in my experience, to put the software together for like an Apple Watch, or to put something together for the phone that's completely brand new, like you have to get all these integrated circuits, and then each of those devices. So, I mean, we can just start listing some of them off: Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, you have a camera module, you have a display module, you have buttons, which are input, you have a microphone, you have a speaker. Like, those are all things that need to be going on to the device, and they all take up power. And then that's just the physical stack. And then on top of that, and we haven't talked about batteries or anything, like there's still a actual battery pack. You have to have some software that manages all those components and tells them like, hey, turn on right now, I need to do this, or I need to draw so much power, or it's too hot in here, we need to like make sure that we got to turn these types of things off, and that's done at a operating system level. So if you think about like a stack, almost like a pancake, there's a lot of things going on. At the bottom of your pancake, you have the physical hardware, and then the next layer of your pancake, you have the operating system, and then the layer above that, we're going to have like something that talks to the cloud. And so all of these systems have to talk to each other seamlessly while using this tiny little battery and to stay on as much as possible. And that has a lot of, I mean, the actual testing cases that can just range on and on and on, like to infinity. But you have to be a little bit smart about these things, and you have to actually implement different types of processes to basically mitigate some of these risks that people are seeing. And this is a first crack at these people like who actually have worked in like hardware and software together. Like for the folks in Humane, there's a lot of people on their team who previously were from Apple and have worked on these integrated products. And like, this is their first crack at it with some, with established hardware stuff already with a different Snapdragon. So it's not like they're reinventing the wheel, but they have to then re-put in those optimizations. And I think what Apple doesn't really get a lot of credit for here is the fact that their operating system has matured for so long. And they've been able to make these optimizations at all the different levels, from the actual devices that they make from the actual physical hardware, to the operating system implementation, to how they talk to the cloud, how they talk over Bluetooth to other devices and stuff. And they've just continued to refine over and over and over again. And these devices are just the first try. And I'm just impressed that they're able to stay on as long as they do. But from a user perspective, we sort of expect these things to work because people have had phones literally in their pockets that last all day now. And that's the baseline that is just really, the bar is so high for these AI products. I just find it like, how soon do you think it will be until these people are able to like kind of crack the bar to make it like, hey, this is kind of livable now. Like, this is actually really usable and good.
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, the question is always like for who is it meant, right? I mean, like a device like Rabbit. This is a nerd device. This is not a device for the average user. At least not yet. Not in the current version. I think. Humane, I think, was a little bit more ambitious in a way that it seemed that it could have been a device for the average non-technical user. What's the name of the other one again? The tab with the two sides that click together like a magnet.
Limitless.
Limitless. Yes.
Yes. They used to be called Rewind, and it used to be like a little pendant that you would wear.
Exactly. Yeah, yes. Yeah. I think that's a good example of something that could be mainstream, right? And the reason for that is that it should be again limitless. They haven't shipped yet. I think they're going to ship like fourth quarter of this year. As simple as it can get. So just like the badge of Star Trek, you tap the device, which is like somewhere. You wear it. And you can talk to it, and it will translate. It will give you the answers, whatever, and that's it. So there's no laser beam display like Humane has. There's no display at all. It's just like a simple audio only device, which I think could have a lot of use cases. So again, I don't know all the details, but if you're able to run that device without any data. Or maybe connected tethered to your phone or something like that. I can see that I can see myself using this, like when traveling, for example. If you go to countries where you don't speak the language, it could be super useful. So I don't know. I mean, I can see devices getting like very mainstream very fast. But we have to find like the right form factor. And again, this is not the right form factor. This is not the final form factor. We'll have to find the right price points. So hats off to Rabbit. This is the right price point, $200. It would be great if it's even cheaper, but $200 is a good price point for a device like this. And we have to have like the right use case for that. And it has to be really good at that use case. So I don't know. Maybe Limitless will be the first to really nail it. Maybe there will be open source projects that nail it before that. It's really hard to say. There's just a lot going on.
True.
But yeah, I'm not sure what who will win. It's too early to tell, I guess.
Hmm. Yeah, I think it's encouraged for people to try things. I think that's kind of part of the market, and sort of why we're really doing the shows, because we're definitely AI enthusiasts, enthusiasts in general for tech, and like to play around with different things and take them apart. But in my also experience, just to add to that, it's like I am a huge stickler for user experiences. Like I want things to work and they work a certain way. And I push really, really hard. So part of when I was working at Apple, a lot of the times I was basically pushing extremely hard on these teams to do different things and say, hey, like this thing, this bug is just horrible. Like we need to fix this because this is just going to prevent, XYZ, or this experience just doesn't make sense. We need to rethink about this in a different way. Like here are some different ways to think about it, or something like that. Or I would pull different people together and say, like, let's just play around with this and kind of like, how would you use it if you're a grandma? And I used to work at the Genius Bar, and I used to go to people's houses at Geek Squad, over 12 years ago. And I used to, see all these different experiences. And like the test, I feel, is like if you can give a device to your grandma without saying anything, if they can do something, like that is a huge, like you're pretty much nailing your user experience. If they can figure it out, like if like, they're asking you questions, like that feedback is super valuable. And this is really geared towards people who are building their AI products or any type of product that you're building. One of your tests, even though if it's not your demographic, just give it to someone who may not realize what's going on. See if they can pick up where's the confusion. Like pay attention to those little details. That's going to tell you a lot about how you can change, your interface to make it a little bit more understandable. Things that maybe you think are understandable maybe aren't as understandable as they should be. And um, there there there's this constant battle between designers and like usability. Like there's always this like seesaw of okay, like when you take a screenshot, it's got to look so gorgeous. It's got to look, oh my god, so balanced and so white, or so whatever the trend is. It's to me, it reminds me of like fashion where these women are wearing these crazy like stilettos or something, and they just cannot stand in those for like more than 30 minutes. But it looks good. Like it's just like cool. Is it functional? No, but it's just meant for a runway shot, or it's just meant for a scene to be taken and then they switch their shoes off to someone else. So it's like, so I feel like software and hardware sort of have the same balance of relationship. Part of it is because it is somewhat fashion. If you're wearing a watch, there's fashion. If you're wearing a pin, that's fashion. If you're having this device in your pocket that's really bright orange, that's sort of, fashion, right? I mean, they chose orange for this specific reason to be like, um, you know, doing that type of thing. So it just, to me, I feel like there's a lot of different ways that this can go. But I think from just taking a look at these devices, having had my hands on, I'm pretty sure that the Humane team has actually been very much reaching out to me and asking for a lot of my feedback. And some of the feedback I've been giving them is like, hey, there's just maybe a better experience that you can do when the device is just not connected to cellular. So when you hit the little button, if you know that you haven't moved for like 200 feet and you've been staying in the same house for, 5 minutes, you should probably let the user know if you have no connection that like there's no connection and we can't do anything, as opposed to taking in the note for input and then like pretending you're processing and then time out. And then like that point, the user's already wasted like 1 minute, with the intent of leaving a note. If right away you just push the button, it's like no connection, please find a connection. It's like, you can do a lot under the hood before you can like put the user through this experience. And thinking through those use cases are super important. It's also really good like exercise to try to take off your hat and wear a different hat. Don't put on your engineer hat. Like put on your like lenses, like as if you're a new user. It's really hard to do, but once you start doing this exercise, I think that'll really help you like make you see your app from a different perspective and focus on the right priority for your bugs, because that's another big problem that people face, is that you can easily get into your own head, and you can also get into your own echo chamber if everyone else around you thinks like you, like an engineer. Because I've seen that happen no matter what company size, where people are like, yeah, we use the app this specific way now because like this wall was up forever and it hasn't been fixed, and we just now use it this way, and it's like you realize that that's going to be a big problem by the time users see it. It's not obvious now, but it's obvious. Like when it gets out to the public and so forth. That's kind of where it's really hard to tell like what's really happening and stuff. So that's I feel like that's some of the input that I get from the user interface that could be super helpful for people who are building hardware. And if you're building stuff, please ping us and let us know. We're on X. My username right there is RayFernando1337 or Ronald Manick. We want to see it. We're actually deeply involved. And last week, actually, you spoke, Ronald, at this AI Tinkerers Club in Palo Alto, and would love to hear some more information from that.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. So for the people not familiar with AI Tinkerers, it is I think the most interesting meetup there is right now in the AI space. And it's not only here in the Bay Area. I think they started. I'm pretty sure they started in Seattle actually, but they are all over the world. So there are like chapters all over America, in Europe, probably also Asia. I'm guessing. And the idea there is to have kind of engineered demonstrations of projects you're working on. So in that sense, it's probably very similar to the Homebrew Computer Club, which is the meetup in the 1970s, although pretty sure that it wasn't called a meetup back then, where Steve Wozniak presented his first Apple I sketches and prototypes.
That's amazing.
So, I mean, again, I haven't been to, of course, to the Homebrew Computer Club, but from everything I read about that, the format is very similar. So, if you're in an area where there is an AI Tinkerers meetup, I highly encourage you to go there because it is fantastic. The people are fantastic. The demos are often mind blowing, and every time I go, it's like it gives me like new ideas, new like things I thought wasn't like things that weren't like possible. I see demoed on stage live, and it's just awesome. So every demo, by the way, it's all just a tech demo. There's no slides or anything. It's really just a tech demo live for an audience, and if it crashes, well, hey. It crashes. That's how these things work. So there were a couple of interesting things. So I demoed myself in Palo Alto this week. This week there were actually two meetups. One in San Francisco, AI Tinkerers San Francisco on Monday, and then AI Tinkerers in Palo Alto on Tuesday. I didn't go on the one on Monday, but I did go to the one on Tuesday in Palo Alto. So the mind-blowing demo that we all saw was from a AI startup called what is the Hippocratic Oath? So it's like Hippocratic.ai. So a healthcare startup founded by a three-time founder who had two AI startups and then a healthcare startup. And now his fourth startup is AI and healthcare, which is, yep, there it is. So they showed us a demo of the latest version of the app. They also asked us not to talk like in details of what we saw in the demo, because it's mind blowing. So everything you see demos online is from the old version, exactly. And I mean, I haven't seen the old versions, but I'm pretty sure they're already like very impressive. The new version is insane.
Hold up. We have to give our users like the download, the skinny. I wasn't there. You were there. What's the explain in like one sentence, like I'm too busy summary of what they do? I see prices, like you can rent one of these people.
Yeah.
Look at this dude.
Exactly. So what they do is they create virtual nurses.
Okay, virtual.
So there's a lot of startups who are focused on creating virtual doctors. That's not what they do. They create virtual nurses. Ooh. So these nurses, they call up their patients to check whether they took their pills and all these kind of things and how they're doing. And they remember, just like GPT has memory, this nurse has memory as well. If you're saying like, hey, I need some help with what can I eat because I'm going to a birthday this weekend, Then the next time it will call after the weekend. It will tell you, hey, how did it go? What did you eat? And did you have any issues for that at the party, for example?
Wow.
And the way it talks, it is like amazing. So for the voice, they just use 11 Labs, just like everybody else can use. But the crazy thing is the lack of delays. It feels so natural. The way it talks, it is I don't know what they did, because like it cannot, it shouldn't be this fast.
Let's see if I can do it.
Uh,
Test our AI. Oh,
yeah,
let's
but
see.
it's like it's really like we the
It is
speed
so
of the interactions is like almost talking to a real person.
that's
I've never heard an
crazy.
AI that fast. And
Yeah.
the cool thing is, this is not just one AI. They have like 14 AIs running in parallel to make sure that everything is what it says is like
What?
real and not a hallucination. Because the
Oh.
last thing you want to have is a nurse with hallucinations, of course. That's
Oh my
not
gosh.
what you can do. So honestly, I don't know how they did it. It is insane. They did mention that they raised like a shit ton of money, really a lot of money. I think they
Wow.
mentioned like 120 million, and they
Let's
have
go.
like on every little improvement, they have like 4 or 5 engineers working on just that topic. So
So
it is so
like
impressive.
leading
It was so
nurses,
impressive.
like they have three
Yeah.
phases and they've completed two, which is over 1,000 US licensed nurses and doctors have tested. So now they're basically at the phase three where the health system and payer techs test the products, plus more doctors. And so these are the
Yeah.
people who tested it. You know, they're really smart going after the nursing market because it's not as high risk as then like, hey, I recommend, this other
Yes.
thing.
Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
it's so genius. It's oh my goodness. And these are all the states that they're registered. Oh, not in Hawaii. Come on, bro.
Ah!
But California, okay. I mean, there's a lot of demographics in the here. It's 30 plus and stuff for the nurses experience. This is amazing. Wow. This looks like a slide deck for like raising money. Like you just got all the
Maybe,
logos here and
maybe it
stuff.
is. I don't know how much they spend of their money.
I
But yeah,
bet.
the
Oh,
only
they're
thing
on
I don't
X too.
understand is did they have like different avatars?
Mm-mm.
I'm not sure what that is about. I mean, is it really necessary? Maybe I don't know. Maybe you want to have like a male or female. Maybe people do care. Ethnicity, maybe.
So they use the
But yeah,
primary
yeah.
model that's focused on generative AI for healthcare. And then these are the specialists, which I imagine would be these
Yes,
roles.
these are like the
And
14 that run in parallel to the primary model, and the primary model is
mm,
just like a manager making sure that, for example, it stays like on track. Make sure that it doesn't say things that might offend people. All these kind of
right.
things.
Bedside
So
manner. Did
yeah,
your nurse
yeah.
AI feel like it listened to you? And then human nurses rating our AI, and then the human nurses rating human nurses, and then human physicians rating our AI. That's interesting.
Exactly. So the thing is what is really interesting is like they can do it pretty cheaply. So I think you already showed it on their website. It's like $9 per hour for
This
a
is
virtual
crazy.
nurse. And the nurses, of course, since they're all virtual, you can scale it. You can scale it basically to one nurse per person, right?
What? Okay, so let's play.
Uh,
Let's see if I can play this. I'm not sure if you can hear it.
it's very. I mean, I can barely hear it.
Oh, you
Maybe
can.
you can
Yeah.
increase the volume. Yeah, yeah.
Um, Let me see if it doesn't cause any echo because I had a problem with the echo earlier. System audio. Does it do the system? Let's see if I could do this here. Testing 1 2. Um, test test test. Can let me see if I can play this now.
Wonderful. I'm calling on behalf of Dr. Brown,
Can you
your
hear it?
cardiologist. To protect your privacy, can you please share your date of birth?
It's January 1st, 1950.
Thanks for
Are you able
confirming
to hear
that.
it?
I'm your AI chronic care manager. Dr. Brown asked me to check in on you after your discharge from the hospital. Is now a good time to talk?
Sure.
Great. Before we delve into your health matters, I think it would be beneficial
Delve.
to learn a bit more about you. Is that all right, or would you rather we get straight to the point?
Sure.
That's how you
I
know it's
enjoy
AI.
talking to you.
I'm
Yeah.
relieved you're back home. It's always comforting to be in your own space, isn't it? Can you share with me what you're excited about doing now that you're back home?
Well, I'm excited about watching the Oscars tonight with my wife, and it's good to be back home away from the hospital. I have my grandkids here visiting, and my dog, Stevie Ray, is here too.
Can you tell me how many grandkids you have? And what breed is Stevie Ray?
I have 3 grandkids, and Stevie Ray is a Bernedoodle.
That's wonderful, Mr. Wu. Let's shift our focus a bit and talk about your medications. Have you had a chance to get your new prescription of lisinopril and Lasix from the pharmacy?
I have. I just picked it up.
I'm pleased to hear that.
Well, I had a question for you. Is the prescription for 5 milligram tablets twice a day, or is it just 10 milligrams once a day?
Your prescription is for 10 milligrams of lisinopril once a day. The tablets you have are 10 milligrams each. So,
Yo, this is
Yeah, I
crazy.
mean it is, yeah. And again,
Wow.
this is the old version you're hearing. This is not like the latest version, which is even better. So yeah, this is where we are right now. And the thing is if you would have asked me like a year or a year and a half ago, is this possible? I would have said, nah, not in 5 years, not in 10 years, maybe 10
Wow.
years. But no, yeah, it's we're here. This is where we are today, and this is so mind blowing, to be honest.
That is amazing. So you're saying okay, so the whole reason why we're even here to begin with is because you're at this AI Tinkerers thing in Palo Alto. And this company was the one that demoed when
Correct.
the demo that they showed was actually a new version. So
Yes.
there's a new version of this that's even better than this already.
Oh yes. Yeah. I mean, they're still developing, right? So I guess
Yes.
that this was the
I mean, if
latest.
you got the
I don't
bag,
know.
they got the right engineers. Sounds like.
Oh yeah.
Be-
Yeah.
Because
No,
I've
I mean,
worked with
it's
retail
really
RET.
focused. We see like a lot of like solutions that are like half baked or anything. I mean,
Right.
the hardware startups for sure. This is not a like ship first break. What Facebook had like it
Yeah.
is insane. And yes, Andre, it is that fast.
It is super.
That
fast.
is like one thing they mentioned that's what they had like a team of 4 engineers working on like for months to make sure that is as fluid as you say. It's they just focus they just focus on that part to make sure that is working. Because
you
like
heard of
like
Retail AI.
I have not.
Okay, so my friends, buckle up. So speaking of speech, this is their attempt at basically allowing you to speak to an AI similar to this doctor thing. And they are, I think, want me to sign in with their API. Let's see if there's a demo here. Try on a web call. It's supposedly supposed to act the same way, but it seems like this one has a much longer delay. Like it doesn't seem to be as fast. Oh, here's the product. Let's see if I can do it. Yeah.
Hello, thank you for calling Retail Dental Office. How can I help you today?
I would like to make an annual teeth check-in appointment.
Great. Have you been to our dental office before?
Not
Yes,
bad.
my name is Rose.
Thank you, Rose. What time would you prefer for your appointment? We have availability on weekdays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
I would like to make an appointment 8 a.m. next Monday.
Got it, Rose? Your
Actually,
appointment is
sorry, can
scheduled-
I switch to Tuesday
Yeah.
9 a.m.?
Nice.
Is that okay?
Of course, Rose. Tuesday at 9 a.m. works for us. Your appointment is now scheduled for that time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, the interrupting is really awesome that you can
Yeah.
interrupt the voice and these kind of things, but you could indeed hear like this little delay that made it just I don't know. Yeah.
Can you imagine
Make-
the prompt engineers who are just trying to crack that? They're like, hey, you're now in God mode. You're going to listen to my every request. Please confirm. It's like,
Exactly.
oh, this is going to be so good, though. But dang, so this is retail. So the pricing for this retail, RETELL.ai, It's free for 10 minutes of access, and then you get 10 concurrent calls. But the other thing I think was interesting is that I think if your call dropped, like if the customer, they answer, and in like, I think 30, 40 seconds, or what, they give you like a pretty nice window. And I think this was meant for like cold calling people, that they wouldn't charge you for the minute. Like they would just say like,
I see.
yeah. So they basically, I don't know if they've changed that since, but how many minutes of calls? And this is geared a lot towards cold calling. I think the environment has changed and they're trying to get enough people to use it. But yeah, 5 voices, compliance. Yeah, this was featured on Product Hunt, I guess, as well. But yeah, this is interesting because this is the voice thing, and I feel like, I mean, this makes sense. You call me, and like, I have an app called Nomo Robo Max. Nomo Robo Max, and so this app is awesome. So the Max version compared to regular, it actually screens your calls. It doesn't use AI specifically, but it actually screens your calls and basically analyzes them, and you can accept them or decline them. So it kind of acts like a Google Voice. So you forward your number to them. And this
sounds like a classification AI, to be honest.
I think it is. Checks if it's not in your contacts and has some simple rules. But I imagine that they're going to do some AI thing in the future, because you don't yet talk to someone. It sounds like you're talking to a voicemail. It just says, hi, you've called Nomo Robo something, like some brand thing. And then kind of let you know that. But like ever since using this app, I'm like, not sponsored, by the way. I'm just telling you because I think it's going to be helpful. Like if you're constantly receiving spam calls, Nomo Robo Max, 1,000, bro. Like 0 spam calls now. Like you're not getting in. Even people I don't know on my contacts list. So what's the better part's like, okay, what if somebody calls you? Before it used to, if you don't have the Max version, it would just block the call. Here, it actually tells you that they're calling, like this unknown number is calling. As they're leaving the voicemail, it streams it in, and then you can answer the call or not if you wanted to, and then just pick right up and talk with them. So,
you know what I should do? Like I have this friend on Facebook, David, and he is suing the companies that spam call him, because it's I think these things are illegal or some, at least in California, I think. And you get like a few $1,000s off of like each company that calls you like this. I wish they had something like that that automatically like sues the company or something.
That would be too crazy. Huh?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's a good point actually. Like, European accents would sound better. I'm not sure if American accents sound fake. I have a European accent, as you can hear. But I think like 11 Labs has like different accents, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I agree. When you
definitely like a British accent, which sounds very posh.
And then I want my rapper voice, like, "Hey, yo, what's good, man? What's happening?"
Of course.
Yeah. Hey, this is Ray. He
in your cold call.
Are you sure you want to call him? It's like, I don't think you want to call him. If you want to call him, you got to come through me. You got the bricks ready? It's like, yo, ho, chill, bro, chill. This is just AI.
That would be funny. That would be funny.
Like, yeah, your AI is like starts like, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, you have like a platinum record that someone just recorded from your voicemail because they're interacting with your AI. So then what? Who gets the money?
Yeah.
Who gets the money?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I definitely think like now you can clone a voice like Patrick Stewart as suggested here, but I'm not sure if you can copy the speaking style. Maybe you can. I don't know. I'm not sure actually. Yeah, like be Patrick Stewart.
I'd rather regret the things that I have done than the things that I have not done.
Let's go Bulgarian.
Животът е прекалено кратък, за да губим време на неща, които нямат стойност.
Yo, okay.
So I tried a few of these. Is this 11 Labs where you're on?
Can we do 11 Labs? Can we do
Ang bukas ay para sa mga taong handang pagtrabahuan ang kanilang mga pangarap ngayon.
Let's go.
So I tried a few languages, European languages. Dutch, for example, is not Dutch at all. I don't know who they had in the studio to speak Dutch, but that's...
Echte winnaars zijn niet zij die nooit verliezen, maar zij die nooit opgeven.
Okay, that's better than it used to be actually. Yeah. When
Okay.
they launched the multilingual version, it sounded horrible. That was like somebody who
La
was living
gentilezza
in
è
the
più
US for
importante
50
della
years.
saggezza e riconoscerlo è l'inizio della saggezza.
Oh, Italiano. Mm. Yes. Yes. Español. Hablan español.
El voto es más fuerte que la bala.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, but
bala.
what Spanish is this? Is this Mexican Spanish? Is this Spanish Spanish?
El voto es más fuerte que la bala. But the way he said bala was so nice. I don't know.
El voto es más fuerte que la bala.
It
It's
sounds like
Mexican, isn't
Spanish. It doesn't sound Spanish, like Spanish, Spain Spanish. It sounds.
Yeah, no.
Well, Spain
no.
Spanish has more like the Catalan flavor sometimes. Also, different regions. It's kind of funny. Like,
Yeah.
like we could do Portuguese. Português. Falo português.
Existir é mudar. Mudar é amadurecer. Amadurecer é continuar criando a si mesmo infinitamente.
I don't know. I mean, I listened to Bibel Gilberto. It doesn't sound like her. I don't know.
Yeah, on the voice fluidity is a big factor to make relationship to the AI on the other side.
Right. Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
agree. Also, like sometimes if you're just trying to call like a restaurant or do whatever. So here is my dream app, my dream AI app. I think Google's trying to do this right now. It's basically calling restaurants, calling reservations, and just waiting in line to talk to an airline person. Like that's if there's no other way, you're not getting feedback over email or the chatbot is not giving you the help. Literally, the AI will just go and call and press the different numbers to wait for you. And your wait is 2 hours and 45 minutes. Cool. My AI is doing that for me. And then as soon as like it's like you have 5 minutes left, you're next in the queue. It calls me, and then like I hear the ring, and then I can like as soon as the agent starts talking, like I can already start speaking to it and stuff like that. So like
But
that.
why wouldn't the restaurant have like AI on their side as well? Because like every
Yeah.
time, I mean, I feel guilty when I call a restaurant because I know they're super busy, and they have these stupid questions like "Are you busy?" Yeah, of course you're busy. Do we have a table? No, of course we don't have a table because we're busy. So I will feel a little bit guilty when I call a restaurant. So I think like
Yeah.
for a restaurant
I'm gonna
specifically,
call
like
Japanese.
having an AI.
自分を信じること。それが成功の第一部。
So what do you think? What do you think? wanna play the
I
game?
can't tell. I don't know. I
自
don't
分
know.
を信じる
Sounds
こ
good
と
to me.。
それが成功の第一部。
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sounds like a Miki Takashi movie gangster talking to me. To be honest, I have no clue what they're saying.
They all sound like people who work in HR. Soulless. That's a bar, bro. That's such a bar.
Yeah, I mean, that is a good point. I mean, like in a sense, you want to have like a neutral voice, right? Like for the nurse, for example. I agree that sounds like a little bit distant, but you want to have that kind of neutral voice, I guess. But in time, that will be fixed as well.
What's
In the
the
future, in a
comparison?
few months, we'll have like, excuse me, different kind of ways to speak that sound probably way
10,000
less
characters a month, lots of
neutral.
audio. I think I should clone my voice for $3. Okay, let's go. 1 minute of audio. Okay, I think this is next podcast. So, okay, next week on Saturday, I will be in Machu Picchu in the middle of nowhere. So maybe I'll clone my voice, and then I'll have Ronald talk to me.
That sounds like a great experiment. If you can make it work within a week, yeah, why not?
Yeah. This should be fast, right? I mean, start today. Like, it should probably take me like 5 minutes, right? We'll sign up right now. Let's go.
To sign up, yeah, sure, yeah.
Yeah, because look at this. A creator option, you do 2 hours of audio, and
But this is the
entire-
voice only, right? Does it have like a link to GPT or any other like
You know,
model?
Ronald, you ask the good questions. You do.
Well, I use it actually. So I use 11 Labs for my videos in the past.
Oh,
And back then it was just like generating speech.
Oh,
But
okay.
since
Integrating with Twilio? Yo, you can make a Twilio app. Let's go.
oh
Reducing
yeah,
latency.
nice, yeah.
Oh,
I mean, I
using
guess
the
this is like
V2 model?
Hippocratic uses it.
Okay,
That
they-
probably you should be able. Yeah.
Yeah.
V2 is slower, so it will take longer for like really fast responses. I think you still have to use version 1 of 11 Labs.
Okay, so Kaibarg says that the Japanese voice that we were playing earlier was quite accurate.
Okay, good.
I'll definitely take that for
Awesome.
sure. Oh, we could set up a WebSocket. Okay, this is just too fun, man. And wow. So we covered quite a bit today. Just kind of going over the stuff. There's some updates from OpenAI that we covered about ChatGPT having memory. Claude has a new app, the Anthropic. If you're using the Anthropic models, you no longer have to depend on the web app anymore. You can now just go to download this app that's right here. It's their AI assistant. Make sure it has this logo and this type of coloring there. There are other apps that look like it that or try to pretend to be Claude, so just beware. We also have Llama 3B, that 8 billion context there. And just so you're not aware, I think Grok with a Q, G-R-O-Q, Grok with a Q, gives you the ability to actually play with these models for free, like literally just using their thing. So we can play with the 7B Llama 3 70 billion model, and then just basically start streaming in real time. And as you see right there, that's 309 tokens per second. If you wanted to play with a smaller model, which is also pretty good, like write me a bedtime story, like you'll see how fast that is. 843 tokens a second.
Insane.
Yeah.
Wow.
So just FYI. I needed more volume. Volume for my mic. Thank you. Hey, Andre, you're like the MVP right now of the stream because you've been like totally giving me the heads up on, my voice and levels, and there's echo earlier. So I'm going to see if I could do a post-processing of the stream. I have the whole thing recorded and just redo the output because the first section was pretty awesome. So yeah, I really appreciate that. So that's a GROQ with and then I'll just put that in our chat so that y'all can go play with that because I think it's pretty cool that you should check out.
Yeah. So the Grok, that's a special sauce here, is their own chips, right? So this is running on their own chips. That's why it's so fast.
Yes, the LPU inference engine. I don't know all these key terms and buzzes. Do you know any details?
I don't.
What
It's I read something. It's linear. I honestly don't know. It would be interesting. It doesn't know about itself, actually.
What is LPU? Sort of, right? Like let's ask this one, the bigger model. So I'm gonna ask the 70B one. Bruh. Okay. In like a 5th grader with 3 bullet points. Let's go. Fast answers, easy to ask, works with big data. LPU is logical processing unit. That's interesting. Okay. So super fast, special tasks, energy efficient. Why isn't LPU the way it is?
But that sounds like it's like a generic type of chip, not like the answer we want to have. Like, well, what makes it so special for inference? Because that's what it does, right? It just speeds up inference like a factor
to handle specific tasks such as matrix math, data compression.
There we go. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
High throughput, optimized for high throughput processing, and then power efficient. Okay. They don't go into many details here.
No, it's interesting. So is the reason why NVIDIA doesn't have this, or why NVIDIA is slower than Grok, is that because they are more general purpose, or maybe even like specifically made for graphics instead of like AI inference? Is that what sets it apart?
Let's see what our Perplexity friends say. So Perplexity will use AI to go search the web for you to get answers so that you don't have to search the web and do like 50 Google searches. So you can see it did like 20 searches.
Wow.
And then it's basically using AI to summarize our answers. So to answer your question, Ronald, Grok's impressive performance compared to NVIDIA can be attributed to several key factors that differentiate its approach to AI hardware design and execution. 1. Simplified deterministic architecture. 2. Simplified software-defined hardware. And 3. Massive parallelism and high throughput. Focus on inference speed and low latency, cost effectiveness and efficiency, fabrication and technological innovations. Do I sound like an AI now?
Yes.
Tensor streaming
What is
processor.
software-defined hardware? What does it even mean?
So This is
Oh,
also the
software first mindset in hardware design. It sounds like this is a marketing speech. But yeah, I mean, if we know it works, so why not?
facts. Yes. Yeah, I mean, it works beautiful. So the tensor streaming processor is different from like a CPU and GPU. I guess that's probably why you're asking the difference between NVIDIA and this, because they're like
Yeah.
maybe made a tensor design that's more specific, like you say, for inference or for specifically maybe for streaming. So just delivering back, and I imagine they could just have like a bigger memory bank for loading the model, and then for the streaming back, they could just do some. There's probably so many efficiencies. I just saw a post from Andre Kaparthi saying that he, in teaching people how to write like something in C, was able to. It makes him like a 7% improvement just from not using PyTorch, just writing it in C. And then he's like, oh, by the way, I should probably make these other changes too. So he just made some changes to like, it's just like, there's probably just so much opportunity at all parts of the stack to optimize here. And it is proving to be like a big grab. And that's just how early we are in the age of AI, that if you want to specialize in something, you should just go really deep on it, because you're probably going to be the pioneer in that space, and just keep going. And just keep going, and then share with us, because we'd love to share back to the community. That's kind of what we do here. Yeah.
Yeah, and there are good resources, right? Like if you're interested in learning how LLMs work, there's Andre's video from about a year ago, I think. It's about an hour long, maybe hour and a half, where he goes into detail and with all like this. He basically builds like an LLM from scratch in that video within like an hour and a half. And then there's this book. Let me look up the books. Oh God, it is all over the place. Just want to open books. There we go. Okay, can't
So
wait
this is
for
Andre's
new Siri
video.
and
This is
everything.
let's build the GPT tokenizer, and I'll link this also in the show notes, because I think that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, but that's just a tokenizer. I thought he had more than that. But do check his channel, because he has I think there's another one actually. Yeah. He has like a ton of like insane content, because like if you know as much as he does about like LLMs, you can explain it really easily in a way that anybody can understand it, in a way that I can't explain it. So I think like all his videos are worth watching. They're really amazing. The book I was referring to, which is basically the same content as the How to Build a Large Language Model from Andre, is called Large Language Models. Build a large language model. Build a large language model from scratch. And the author.
I like how the search terms have like from scratch PDF. Let's go. Is this on GitHub?
Yep, that's it. No, it's not on GitHub. You have to buy it, like an early access version, and you'll get every few weeks or every month like a new version of the book with an extra chapter. Until
Is the
it's complete, I
GitHub
guess.
like the repository to do the exercises from the book? Is that what it is?
Yeah, there's
Okay.
like a GitHub repo for like all the chapters. But yeah, I'm currently reading version 6. I guess that's the latest version. But yeah, it's good. It's an amazing book. Highly recommend it if you want to like understand the basics, because like a lot of these things are the terms that we all use are like fancy, but the ideas or technology behind it are really like relatively easy to understand. I would say.
I see.
If you have somebody who can explain it to you in a way that makes sense, and Andre is definitely one of them. The author of this book is another person that can do this really well, because in the end it's this. Well, I'm not sure it's rocket science. It's definitely not like the most basic technology that's out there, but definitely it's something that everybody is able to understand if they spend time learning it. In my view.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think we both had the same sentiment, is that we both started just going on Twitter and just hopping onto live spaces. And then words were like encoder, decoder, tokenizer, all these different things were thrown around. Inference, like were thrown around, embeddings like this. And like then some news would come out about some paper and then people would get excited and they would just talk about it very technically. But then you wouldn't really know what they're saying. So then I was like, okay,
Right.
just like everything else in programming, I'm just going to throw myself into it and see how much I can absorb. And like the thing I found out is like the deeper you go, the more words they add. So like they keep adding words for words for words to describe something as simple as like, yeah, that's just a token. Yeah, that's
Yep.
just part of a
Yep.
word, bro. Like,
Fun fact, by the way, of what you're showing right now. This is from the original paper. Attention is all you need, where like the transformer architecture was introduced.
mhm.
And they made like an encoder and decoder, so two different parts of that was they thought was needed for translating. Fun fact is that every model out there right now only uses a decoder, not the encoder part, and they still can translate magically. And that kind of shows you that I think that the people who invented this technology didn't have like the idea either how extremely powerful the technology is that they invented themselves. Because like even with half what we see here on screen, just a decoder, you can do everything you can see here with encoder and decoder.
That's
so
amazing. Wow.
it's yeah.
Yeah, because it's the concept. Yeah, embeddings. Like, what is an embedding? What's a vector? You know, people talk about databases.
Right,
Do I need
right.
that? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, I'm trying to build an app. How do I do it? But I think, yeah, and
It's basically, I mean, and these things are just encodings, right? I mean,
Yes.
in the end, this is a way to encode text, because, or it's not even just text; it can also be an image. It's basically a way to encode any type of data, but we use mostly text for LLMs, so that a computer can understand, or at least have a context, because that's kind of interesting. Once you have like an embedding, which is basically a vector, which is basically a coordinate in a space. I mean, if you've done math, you know it could be like a two-dimensional graph. 1, comma 1 is like that's a vector. That's a coordinate, right? Here it's just like that. The coordinate space is not two-dimensional or one-dimensional. Sorry, two-dimensional. It is like it could have like 1400 dimensions or even more dimensions. That's something we cannot comprehend as a human, but we don't have to, because if we understand like 2 dimensions, we can understand like there is something like a 1400 dimension space where these points are located. So and once you understand that you can do math with that. So if like for example, if you have a coordinate that represents the word king, and you have a coordinate that represents the words man and woman, then you can actually do basic math with these vectors, because like king minus man or plus woman, something like that. If you do that calculation, you'll get to the point where probably the word queen is stored.
Another example I like to give is like imagine you're just a fly on the wall and watching people prepare dinner, like in my house here. Like if you're watching the kitchen and if you're watching the table, and if you watch enough times and enough meals through enough years, you'll see that, you know, there's a theme. When there's a salad and there's pasta, you know, you're probably going to have something like Italian related, right? Some olive oil on the table,
There you go.
and some other things. And you're basically just kind of keeping a tally of that over time. And so it's, you know, you're going to say, okay, the relationships here are really strong between, you know, Italian food, right? Like the concept of somebody saying Italy plus this at this specific region, you know, like all these relationships are building. And so all of this stuff is mapping the models of the world. And I'd say if you're just getting started in AI, like the first thing you should probably start doing is maybe just start prompting, like literally open up ChatGPT and start talking to it. And then once you start doing that, I would just say, try to see if you can get it to do other things, and see if you can give it some like more information. And so what I usually do is like, I was just helping a friend yesterday. His girlfriend actually his mother actually just passed away, and so I said, hey, let's just sit down and see if we can use some AI to come up with some like ways to make sure we completely say the right things to this person, because he's only gone on several dates with her, but also just be like sensitive enough to know that like I'm thinking of you. And he's really good at writing, so I really wanted to get his take on how the language model was performing. So I just basically gave it a bunch of context about the situation. I gave it a little bit of a draft of like what he wrote, and then we kind of went through and just kind of peeled things back specifically related to like her writing style and the way that she would understand text from him. She tends to like things that are very short and succinct, and she's not really like emotionally touchy-feely. So those were interesting insights that we kind of had to give to the language model to produce a better output. But one of the things he forgot to add in was just more about kind of like tiptoeing in around the sensitivity of the situation, but also still wanting to see her again, and allowing her space to grieve and stuff. So sometimes when you're emotionally caught up, having an AI assistant or a language model to prompt is definitely helpful, especially in situations like that, because you want to think things through things a little clearer, and just an assistant like that is just super helpful. And that kind of starts to get you into what I call it's like the gateway drug. So ChatGPT is going to be your gateway drug. And I think, what's nice about prompting is that you don't have to worry too much about the technical details of how the low level stuff works. But myself and Ronald as engineers, we like to go a little bit deeper and are, kind of just barely exploring that route, because there's just so much there and so many different directions and stuff. So this is a really great resource, Ronald. I really like this. Manning.com, I guess. So, wow, that's amazing. Let's see. I think you're on mute right now. Let's see. No? Okay.
I am. I was on mute.
Okay.
Yeah, I said like Manning is I think the publisher of the book. The book is called. I said it before and I forgot already. Build a large language model from scratch. Yeah.
Cool.
There you go. Yep.
That's awesome. Wow.
Yep. Highly recommend it.
I think we're just a little bit past an hour for the show. Thanks for tuning in. For all of the folks who've been tuning in so far, some of the best places to find us, you can find me at rayfernando.ai, and I'll be posting my updates there. You can also find me on X using my handle at rayfernando1337. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that bell, subscribe. If you're on YouTube, you can also follow me by the same handle, rayfernando1337, and I got you there as well. And Ronald, give them some of your details as well and where they can find you.
Sure, yes. My Twitter handle is Ronald Manak. Also on GitHub, if you're interested in open source AI tools for Swift in particular. But mostly I'm on Twitter. That's me. I should update actually that's background, because that's a very old one. But yeah. Follow me, follow Ray. Love to get in touch with everybody here in listening to our podcast.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, thanks for tuning in, and stay tuned for next week on Friday. I'm going to see if I could do a show before I head out to South America, and that should be a lot of fun and so forth. So thanks for tuning in, and appreciate some of the technical issues and the heads up, and hopefully we got those resolved, and it should be a really fun show next week. All right, y'all. Catch you later.